you guys really liked my Voja deck the other day that I put up. Well, Voja was actually added to the Arena client, so we're going to play her in Historic Brawl so you can actually see what she does in action today. And here it is, my Raised by Wolves Historic Brawl Edition. Now, if you missed the Voja Commander video a couple days back, let's go ahead and talk about Voja real quick. For 2 colorless and a red, white, and green, you get a 5/5 Wolf that has Vigilance, Trample, and Ward 3. And then when it attacks, for every creature you put a counter on them for each elf you control, and you draw a card for each wolf you control. So you're going to be drawing at least 1 card, and then whatever amount of elves you have are going to bolster up your forces and slam through. This deck is so much fun. Oh my goodness, I love this thing. So let's talk about some of the changes I had to make, because not all the cards that were in the Arena client match what I put in the deck list for the Commander version of the deck. So I had to make some substitutions. I had to make some changes and just kind of make it mesh together a little bit better. So over here in the far end is 3 cards that I'm keeping from the new set that came out that was in the other build. We have Ansrag the Quake Mole. If it gets blocked, you have extra combats, and Voja's trigger goes off twice when that happens. Every attack, it's going to go off again. Buried in the Garden, great removal, doubles up mana on a land, and then Tulsimir Midnight's Light. I only got to play this one time in the recording because I've already shot the games, but it's the force fight. You're like, okay, if you don't attack me, I'm going to kill basically whatever I want on your side of the board by forcing a 5/5 down its throat. So that's really, really good. And it can force them to block Voja if they don't want to, because then the trample damage can carry through them, and it can force some weird lethal situations as well. And then this column is a bunch of stuff that I added to the deck that is not in the original commander list for the most part. Actually, this isn't either. Let's start at the top here. We got Response Resurgence, 5 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. But the big thing here is the Resurgence side. Creatures you control gain First Strike and Vigilance, and then you get an additional combat phase afterwards. So this is one of those extra attack step things that you can do. I had to replace some things, so I put this in. We also have Combat Celebrant. Again, you exert this, you get extra combats. Shared Animosity. Since we have basically elves and wolves as the 2 primary creature types in this deck, when you swing, they're going to get bigger with this coming off of it. We also have Branching Evolution in here, doubles the counters that you're going to get off of your elves. Same thing with the Doubling Season I just chucked into the column because this was neither one of these were in the original build. I also have Kutzil Melamet Exemplar. Great thing here is that it keeps them from killing your stuff when they bring this down. They have to respond to this. If it comes down, they have to wait till their turn to do anything. And it gives us additional card draw when they hit. So it's just a nice include here. Alana and Elena Partners. I needed more ways to grant haste. I lost Fires of Yavimaya from the original build, so this is just kind of a replacement effect for that. Matchwood Nexus. This is somebody asked me about in a comment on the other video, and I thought, this would be pretty good because then it makes everything an elf and a wolf, and you get to create these tokens that count as both as well, so you're going to get double ups on that. And then we also have Xenagod in here. Again, we're trying to replace some of the things we lost in granting haste. This also doubles up the power of a creature, so once Voja's built up a little bit of momentum, she could get really, really big, and you'll see that in the gameplay video. And then one more for the road on terms of extra combats. It's Aurelia the War Leader. If it's the first time you untap your stuff and you swing in and you just smash face again, Voja's triggering twice. You're drawing double the cards, double the counters, double the everything. So this is the deck in a nutshell. Let's see what you think after the gameplay, and we'll talk more about it afterwards. Gishath. All right. Well, let's see which of the Naya decks is better, I guess, here. This is actually going to be my first try at getting this deck to work because I found out that Voja was on here and I didn't really take time to test it because I was like, all right, we'll just copy most of what I just did in the Commander video and try to make something out of it. Now, is our opponent here? Okay. So the decks are not going to be identical by any stretch of the imagination because unfortunately a lot of the cards that I used in the other build just don't exist on Arena just yet. All right, let's do... I don't have any other sources of green. Let's go ahead and do the Foothills. Let's go get a green source. I want something untapped, though. As much as I hate shocking myself for various odds and ends, I'm going to get a Stomping Ground because I do need some double red stuff for later. So I think the right play is to do that. Saheeli's Lattice. Okay, it crafts to make a dinosaur. All right. So let's do this. Let's go with another red source. We'll play Mindstone, and then we'll play the Incubation Druid just to keep our ramp rolling along. So now we could drop Xenagod next turn, which then when we drop Voja down, we can give it haste and doubled power with Xenagos. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'd be 6 mana sources. Doesn't really matter. Let's do the Jetmare's Garden. We'll play the Xenagod. It's whatever. All right, we're in business now. So next turn, I think the play is going to be play Voja, and I think I have enough mana to do the Leaf Crown Visionary to get the 3rd elf on the board, so that Voja can get 3 counters on everything. Plus, we'll get a card off of her. A Siegehorn Ceratops, you say? Okay. Let's go planes. If I do this, 1, 2, 3, 4, then Voja's open to getting removed. Don't know that I like that plan. I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to play Jaws of the Conclave. And then double her power, swing with her and that. Because there's going to be 2 counters, so it's a 3/3. It'll survive combat if it gets blocked by the Ceratops. Half your life? Go to 10? I don't know. I don't know what they're doing here. All right, sure. And that was the idea, was to keep the elf alive so we have the ability to double the count or get the counters increased. So, but I didn't want to leave this open to like a Swords to Plowshares or something of that nature to get rid of Voja right away, because we have the safekeeping just for such occasion. And they still have enough mana if they have a Swords. And you're going to get run over. Block with my 7/7. Was that the waving of the white flag? We're just going to go ahead and drop Fleetfoot Dancer, because I feel like running them right over. Just assert dominance. Ow. So that was turn 5? That's pretty good. Tiamat. All right. So we got a way to make a wolf on 2, Archdruid on 3. Possibly do Aragorn and Arwen Wed on 4. I mean, I dig this. A little bit different hand than the first game. So, oh, hey, turn 1 mana dorks. I like that. Forget the wolf for right now. Let's do this. Or actually, we can still do the Ranger class on 2. Unless we want to try to get the Archer down on 2. Do that, do Archdruid, but then I'd have... You know, we're going to do this, and we're going to stick to the plan. This can get surveilled away. I'm not worried about it right now. We'll do Ranger class. So I have Cutzel in here just as a way to draw extra cards if we need to. All right. So what do they got going on here? That thing's already up to level... Yeah, okay. Well, that there, if I do Rex Age and get rid of that, that might save me from getting blown up in a couple of turns. Let's do the Archdruid for now. We'll go ahead and attack with these 2. Ooh, I made a calculated mistake. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and do this. It looks like they're mana screwed. I'm going to take out that No hasty dragons for you. Unless you got another thing in there to do that. Alright, navigation orb. So yeah, they haven't played lands in a couple of turns. We'll go red. Let's do... Actually, let's level this, and then I'll play the Elvish War Master also. We'll get that rolling, and then we'll have the War Master to help us out as well. Man, losing those mana dorks really freaking sucked. But that was my own fault. I overextended into that. I should have sat back on the Elvish Archdruid. At least until I was ready to set up with Voja and start slamming in as hard as possible. Now, if we draw the land, I'm probably going to drop Voja. If we don't, it's probably going to be the Combat Celebrant to get it ready to start doing extra combats. I'm still using the same themes from my commander build, where I'm trying to get extra combats to get extra triggers off of Voja. Don't eyeball my Elvish War Master. You got a removal spell. Nothing to see here. Okay. Since I figure they may have a removal spell, I am going to... I'm going to play this. I'm going to make them use it now or forever hold their peace until it's their turn. Okay. So, yeah. Everybody going in. We're going to make this a little bigger. You can't cast whatever you got in your hand. No pumps for you. All right. God, do I overextend into this or not? I'm going to do this in the hopes that I can get Aragorn down. Plus, I get the extra elf off of it if I cast it now. They were probably like, what's going on? It's like, yeah, Cutzel is, besides the card draw, is there to keep you from messing with me while I'm doing things on my turn. Okay, so what does that do? Oh, goodness gracious. All right. So my stuff is all going to explode this turn. So let's go Wooded Foothills. Go get another... Get a shock land out of this? Okay, get a shock land out of this. Just which one do I need? Probably the... And red? Alright. So... We're going to get the most mileage out of this because it won't... That thing will not blow up Aragorn and Arwen. And we're just going to go yam yam here. And all the stuff that gets through will get me cards. So, because they're all bigger than their base power and toughness. Actually, let me count this up. 5, 9, 10, 11. Ah, they were dead anyways. It didn't matter. It was enough to push it over the top. Mythweaver Poq. All right. Mono green doesn't really scare me too much. That's nice. Got a little bit of a rampant removal here to help us get to Anzrag or Aurelia. Aurelia is a new ad compared to the other list because I was going for more wolves and elves in that deck, and I was just like, whatever I can get away with in this deck. So we'll just go Jetmir's Garden to start off with. Then we'll have the Elvish War Master come down next. Pity we didn't have the mana dork so we could actually do Buried in the Garden a little earlier just to ramp up. So they get to do a creature and or a land. So they get to do one of each. So it looks like they kept just one. I don't know what's going on there. All right, Rockfall Vale. Swing for 2, because why not? We'll hang on to Response Resurgence. We don't need to use that as a 5 damage to anything right now, unless something really nasty comes out. I'd rather use the Resurgence side to do the extra combat, which is, again, another add to this deck. All right. So let's get do Anzrag. Or do I do Buried and get Poq for a turn? Yeah, I think I do that. Or, because it's a 4/4, they'd have a fight spell, you know. I'm just thinking of all the possibilities here. So Poq can go away. Like, I was thinking if I played Anzrag out, but then they could have a force fight or a bite spell, and they could kill Anzrag using that, and then I've wasted my turn, and they still have their Mythweaver. So, Mythweaver, I can't talk today. Whereas if I do this now, I could do Response Resurgence in a couple of turns, or just play Anzrag the next turn. Wow, they got 2 incubators off of that. Oh, wow, that's nuts. Okay. That's a thing. Let's go ahead and play Aurelia. Not swinging with the other. Yeah, we'll swing with her. I mean, might as well get that damage. She flies over. All right. I mean, they could just go for broke and just start turning those incubation tokens up, and then I'm going to get run over really quick. Now, that has reach, which is a pain. But no blocks. We'll take that one. Branching Evolution. All right. Let's go ahead and drop Voja, and we'll sit on this. Because I can still use Boseiju to blow up an incubation token or whatever enchantment or kind of nastiness they put out. Resolve that. Wow. Okay. So get a creature, enchantment, or a land onto the battlefield direct. So they can do Cavalier. They could do... Oh, really, it's just the Cavalier or the Tangled Skyline. Wow, they're making a bunch of 5/5 incubate tokens. That's weird. Directions you control have reach. Okay. No blocks. We'll take this particular hit. I'm going to keep the Boseiju because I might need that land. Let's see if we can kill them this turn. They don't have any mana to activate the Phyrexian tokens. I think I can take enough turns just to finish them off this turn. I don't even need the response resurgence. Just do this. The extra turns work. They really, really work. There's Massacre Girl. I'll be making this deck eventually. But I really wanted to get on Voja, since I didn't realize that they were putting it on Arena. Alright, let's go Linowelp. Probably gonna go white so I can get lost up first. Oh, I need a red source. Really, really bad. You know what, screw it. Let's just go very aggressive here. Red source for Helena and Elena would be nice. Pet Throat doesn't bother me much. Not having that is kind of craptastic, though. I think I just want to blow that up. But let's see what they have in their hand. I'd rather do this first. Grasp, Downfall, Opportunist, Nest of Scarabs. I think they're gonna have Hero's Downfall no matter what. I think I want to get rid of the Nest of Scarabs. Only for the fact that if you let them get Massacre Girl down, all their stuff has Wither, which then puts negative counters on things. They'll generate so many Scarabs. It's kind of ridiculous. On top of that, we get the, if in this case, we'll get the light shield array if we want to protect things. I'd rather just go ahead and do that than screw around with what else is going on. Let's see if they burn a spell on the adversary or not. Yeah, you can have it. It's fine. Red, red, red. Yay, red. What I asked for. They will not be able to target this because they do not have 6 mana available to do so. So, and even if they did, I would pop the light shield array. So, whereas Helena and Elena would be perfectly open for a hero's downfall. Not very smart. Now I'm kind of hoping for more elves, considering we have an extra combat card in hand. And I have Get Lost for Massacre Girl. So now, do you have that? What is it? That -X spell that can't be countered? Because that would go through. That would take care of Voja. Not enough mana to do it. All right. Oh, crap. We do this, then I can't have enough mana to do Get Lost. Could just do Response, because I'm sure they would try to block. Screw it. You Get Lost. They didn't like that. Kind of curious what kind of card I would have had. The Mycotyrant. Oh, this person's after my own heart. All right, we got mana rocks, we got mana dorks. The only way this hand would actually get better is if I had a turn 1 Llanowar Elf or Elvish Mystic, so I could play Gwenna on 2. Probably should have played the white so that safekeeping didn't hold priority. All right. And we won't have that problem here in a second. Let's do Mind Stone. Gwenna is probably coming down next turn. Fetch lands, get your fungus. They shock themselves? Why would... I smell a rat. Let's drop this. We'll shock ourselves with this. I'm gonna Harrow. Get rid of the plains. I'll go get a forest and... Oh, they wanted a Deadly Dispute. I was like, removal? Want 1 forest and we'll get a mountain because we need double red. And then let's play. I guess let's go ahead and drop the Gwenna. Evo Sage would be an alright play, but Gwenna advances us a little faster. If it survives. Or not. Alright, they got plenty of mana to pay into Voja's ward cost, so we need to have some kind of haste. Alter. Oh, I did not think about that card in my build. Sack a bunch of funguses, mill somebody out. That's a thing. Alright, let's do Seiju. They have 1 card in hand. Elk. She's no longer an elf. You know what? I'm going to play Delina, and I'll have Tamiyo safekeeping to keep her alive for a turn. Because what I can do then is I can play Voja, swing with Delina, and make a copy of Voja to get a secondary, like get it attacking and everything. No attacks. Is that their? I think their Ultra Dementia's holding priority right now. The only thing about Delina copying Voja is you don't get the attack trigger unless you have a way to create additional combats. Then it gets really stupid. And they would probably gladly trade Delina for something. Greater Hoof. Okay. I mean, sure, what is that? 12. It's not lethal. Really want to stuff though. I mean, it doesn't matter. Let's block here. Well, we'll reduce the damage by 3. There's no point in taking all the damage. I mean, they're going to get a descend trigger off of the... Oh, wow. Oh, they're milling themselves. Oh, wow. I did not even think about that for myself. They mill themselves to get a bunch of funguses. Yeah. Burn down the house, please. That'd be nice. Or there's that. You know. I'm just trying to think. If I do that, I can't do the Vanquish save. I could just do Samuel's safekeeping on Delina, then blow the board up. I mean, might as well go for broke here. Let's see what kind of, rolls we get. All right, well, they'll take 6, and then we'll get to watch their world burn. Oh my god, I don't have double white. Oh no, shoot. All right, I have to see if I can draw a white mana. Otherwise, I'm screwed anyways. I didn't realize it. We're screwed, no white mana. Mishra. All right, we got Mishra claimed by Gix coming in. I kind of like this hand better than some of the ones I've been seeing in the last couple of games. If I, with the caveat of if I draw a second green mana quickly enough. So we need a lot of green here. But we'll shock or not shock ourselves. We'll play that tapped coming in. Ooh, Mirari's Wake. Always love that card. This was like the basis of like the first Bant deck I ever built back when Judgment came out. I was playing this with a Cunning Wish board as my sideboard, and I would just toolbox whatever I wanted out of the sideboard and drove people crazy. All right, we're just going to keep ramping. Ideally, we can get Wake down pretty fast, and then our mana troubles or whatever. And Black-Red really only has like 1 or 2 spells that can deal with any of the enchantment stuff. All right, Reggie. What did they get? I got my command tower. You son of a biscuit. All right. I guess if I do that, then play the Leaf Crown Visionary, then I would get an elf token. So let's do that. Of course, I could probably kill it in response. So. Or not. Okay. All right. Hopefully we get an untapped land here soon. I guess not. Let's go with the commercial district. Let's see what we got on top. Why, it's a land that I want. I don't have any. If it was a creature, then I could get rid of the Stone Coil Serpent, but I can't swing into that, unfortunately. So we're just going to pass turn because we really can't do anything else right now. Cross our fingers and hope we don't get blown out by a -2/-2 to everything type spell. Alright. Well, apparently they're not playing those kind of things, because if they were, they wouldn't have played that. Well, Mishra's going to come in probably because they know it. Oh, no. Okay, I thought they would do it. Okay. I think. I'm just trying to think of like what the smart play here is versus the cool play. Let's play Voja. This is the cool play, because if they can't wipe my elves and they can't kill Voja, then they're probably going to die next turn because of Sigarda's summons. Let's see. Like, I was going to play Wake just to double up my mana, but then it's like, there's a big if the stuff lives, then I kind of get to make them explode. All right, they're not going to get a flying blocker for at least one turn. All right, let's see if I can make them go boom. If I do that, I only have 5 mana left, excuse me. If I do... Still only 4 mana left, so there's no way for me to get around doing it that way. If I do that, I only have 5 mana. I can't double spell. I have to do the Sigarda's summons, then swing. What you got? Everybody in the pool, because here comes the flying beats. It's enough to kill them. You can only block 1. It tramples. I don't think you want to block Voja. I think you want to block one of the 8/8s. Like I said, I'm going to play the card that makes them explode. The Scarab God. All right. Ooh, we got Rhythm. One of the things that makes Voja so much better is giving her haste when she comes in. We could shock in the Temple Garden, play Reese on 1, play Cold Steel Heart on 2. But the only thing that would make this better again is a mana of some sort. I mean, there's that. We'll go with Reese the Redeemed on 1, like we were planning. Probably going with the Cold Steel Heart on 2, because it's the same as a creature, but it's less vulnerable to getting blue. Though a Paradise Druid does have hexproof. Yep, not blocking. Mountain. On the heart, right? Or am I doing Paradise Druid? I'm trying to think of like the right way to do this. Yeah, we'll play the heart. We'll name green because we're going to need a bunch of green. Between Leafground Visionary and everything else going on. Oh, you took my Reese the Redeem. Oh, this means war. Alright, let's just do... I'm not going to have the green mana regardless, so let's just go ahead and drop the Paradise Druid. I could have done Rhythm there, then Voja could have come down, but I need to get Elves on the board first. Because Voja just attacking as a card draw really isn't that spectacular. Ugh. Hate that card.
Don't try anything cheeky now.
I wouldn't dream of it. But this is coming down because that can actually counteract Tasha. Because what happens, the only bad part is the 1/1 still can't attack in because the inactive player's trigger goes on the stack and will resolve beforehand. So in this case, we're going to actually sacrifice the Leaf Crown Visionary because of that fact. I think I play this so Voja gets 2 counters. They want to gang block. I can just shred absolutely everything. Do this. Let's do Rhythm. And then I still have 4 mana available to play Fleetfoot Dancer. Right? Or am I still short mana? Oh, no, it's a Heath. That's why. I'm a dingus. Don't mind me. I gotta go get a shock land. Let's go get the Stomping Ground. Like, I have 4 mana. No, you don't. Counter. It's already got haste. Tasha, I'm sick of your shit. Get out of here. Take that. +1/+1 counters. Cancel -1/-1 counters. Surprise. Goodbye. They didn't want to lose their Shieldred, so I get the feeling they wanted to flip it. We don't have enough cards in our graveyard, though, for them to flip it over. You have to pay a lot of mana to kill that Voja. A 5 mana, what is that? Infernal Grasp or Go for the Throat isn't nearly as good as a 2 mana. Whoops. It's Ivy. Let's see what we got going on here. We can run Ivy down before we get messed up. We got the new Tulsamir. It's the first time I've drawn him. I've had the other Tulsamir in hand. I'm gonna try to do double green with a Leaf Crown Visionary on 2, go Arwen 3. Unless we get a Mana Jork. Then I might go that route. Okay. So the plan stays the same. It's Arwen 3, big score 4? I don't know. Decks with blue in it kind of scare me because big score can get you 2 for 1 really fast. You have a 1 mana enchantment. No. 1 mana something. Unfortunately, I don't have a green mana to pay into this, so we're just going to have to go with it. Alright, so we have our indestructible Mortal Queen. Need red mana, though. That's the freaking Yeah, please, go ahead, copy it. Target your thing. So, red, we have to play Arwen. It's so annoying. Let's play a second white mana source because of... let's play this again. Might get countered this time. I could have played the green to draw the card, but I want the double white down again because of Aurelia. Guess we'll swing with the Visionary. They have something in hand, though. It's like... no. I don't want to chance them flashing in like a Spectral Sailor or something and blocking and killing the Visionary. All right, AV. You're wasting my time here with this low ball, slow roll stuff. Let's go. So red mana, we could play Voja. Didn't get it, so we have a choice. We can play Doubling Season, which would likely get countered, or we can play Tolsimir. I think we'll play Tolsimir because I've never played it before. And we'll see if they have a counterspell for him. Because I'd rather have him get countered than Doubling Season. Alright, so we get 2 bodies. It's really good. For 5 mana, you get a lot of power for that. I'm gonna do this, because even if they flash in a creature, I don't care. Love how my little goblin cackled when that hit. Send your flyers, I guess so. Oh, they don't. Oh, I know what that's about. They don't want me to force the block. Oh, red mana. I love you. Thank you. All right, we'll shock that in. Now it's a matter of try Voja first. I think I'm just gonna swing and force that Wanderer to block the wolf. You don't have a choice. All right. I wanted to see if they had like a pump spell or something of that nature. And you know what? We came here to play Voja. That's what we're going to do. It resolved. Okay. 1 and 2 mana answers are the only thing they're going to have to her. They have some kind of spell that says can't be countered attached to it. Oh, nope. Darn. So what did you guys think? I had a ton of fun with this deck. Oh my goodness. This thing was so fun because you could just power bomb over somebody so quickly. If they don't deal with Voja, and she's really hard to, that ward 3 makes her really hard to deal with because your 2 mana removal turns into 5 mana removal really freaking quick. And if your stuff costs any more than 2, it becomes almost impossible to get rid of it without a board wipe of some sort. If there's anything you don't think I should have been running in this, let me know in the comments below. I can see this thing just tearing it up at a commander table. I mean, this was my first chance of doing this, and I'm in love with this commander. I can't wait to get my hands on an actual paper copy of it for my collection because I'm building this deck and I'm going to be tearing people down with it really quick. So with that said, if you like what I'm doing here on the channel, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know all those things down below. It helps the channel grow, puts the channel in the algorithm for YouTube. And as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.